Good morning. So, looking at the weather forecast this morning, it looks like we've ended our warm snap. It's still -3 right now. It was cooler overnight. And that's kind of a blessing for anybody that watches this that might not know why that's a blessing. For the last about 10, 11 days, it's pretty much been above zero. It rained a couple evenings and early in the morning a couple times. That is a very undesirable thing to have happen up in northern Alberta, or basically anywhere where it's you've already had a lot of snow and packed snow and ice, because water on top of ice is just a recipe for disaster. It's really slippery. It's hard on your body to walk around. If you're doing lots of outside stuff like we are on the farm, you're walking around all day and your body is just tensed up because you're always worrying about slipping. So once it gets down to being cooler again and you start hitting these highs of -10, the hard frozen ground is actually easy to walk on, and there's a bit of traction. It's when it warms up where you start to lose your ability to walk around safely without really concentrating on what you're doing. I notice I'm only 32. I consider myself fairly healthy, I guess, and in relatively decent shape. But after 10 days of walking around the yard with glare ice and water, you know, your butt, your lower back, your thighs, shoulders, everything, it's sore because you're tensed up all day. Up the road here is a prime example. You can see where the snow turns into glare ice. So if you go to the top of the hill there, like there's a little bit of a slant, you can actually just slide all the way down. All right, so I had an all right start. I got one bag made, and then I was just partway through making the next 3, and you know, bang, 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 shear pin. And I'm pretty sure a bearing went in that gearbox. They didn't make a way that you could, you know, stop the screw in the middle and just unload the machine. So anyways, I went up, I got my grain vac. I climbed up there, I grain vacked it all out. I got it in now on blocks. I'm going to set up I got it on these stands. I'm going to set up some blocks for a little extra safety because I don't feel like climbing under there and dying. I don't know how hard those gearboxes are. I don't think they're real fun to mess around with. But anyways, got to be done, and no time like the present then to do it. It is it's 5 o'clock, so I figure I can probably have it out in a couple hours. Look at it, see what I need. I don't think the bearings are anything special, so if that's the case, I'll be able to get the bearings tomorrow, get it put back together, and by tomorrow afternoon, with any luck, be back making feed. But I guess we better get at this and see if we can get it fixed. Okay, so that's the gearbox right here that's got to come off. I'm going to pull the side plate off first so I can look in there and see if it actually is a bearing failed. At this point, I don't think it can be anything else. This shaft here was turning, and you know, this chain actually was turning and everything, and the banging seemed to be that upright auger. So, you know, it basically can't be anything else. But with it jacked up this high, it's easy to get under here, so it's not that big of a deal, I don't think. So I just got to peel this chain off, get some of this stuff out of the way, get that end plate off, and have a look inside. Hi. So, this is where I'm at. We're in the middle of diagnosing what was wrong. Why did I keep blowing shear pins? Now, on this side, over here, oh, I'm fat. Okay, so this, yeah, you can see that. Okay, so this piece here is it's a collar, and it's a spline shaft on this one, and a spline shaft coming out of that gearbox. Okay, so I was able to get this slid back. Okay, so now it's turning independent from the gearbox. Okay, so this shaft goes into the gearbox. Now this should be solid. And, see, that's not supposed to happen. So there's bearings inside this housing.
this housing right here that are clearly shot. That's supposed to hold this shaft straight, and that's not happening. So I'm gonna have to spin this filler. Oh, you can't see, it's so dark under here. Okay, I'm gonna have to spin this filler line off. That's a fillet full of oil. Gonna have to peel these bolts up top out. I don't know how it's attached to the shaft going up. I'm kind of hoping it just falls out. I'm not gonna leave my phone on because it's just too dark under here. So, but that's what's gonna happen next. It's free from this shaft, and then it's not free from the one going up. But once I get these big bolts out that hold it up there, I should be able to quite easily see what I need to do next to get it out. All right, so I got that gearbox out, and surprisingly enough, you know, these New Holland mix mills are actually quite difficult to work on normally, but they saved all their engineering power for this gearbox because it's actually quite easy to get it out. So there it is. This big square, this drives the auger that's upright in there, that carries the grain up and circulates it. This shaft that was this shaft here that comes out the side, was the one that was on that collar. Bearings in here were completely gone. They all fell out into that bucket. So there's various parts of shrapnel in there. You can hear it rolling around. They're Timken bearings, so all the rollers and everything. This guy, I had him soaking in the gas. He's actually a little bit damaged. This one gear alone is $400, and I doubt they'd even be able to get it for me. It does still fit in there pretty tight. Yeah, it doesn't take long for this stuff to get beat up. So we'll see if I can get that or not. I might get a new one. The big one in here, this gear actually, I was already looking at lunch. This big gear here, this costs $1,400. Just the gear, nothing else. But as you can, there's going to be a Timken bearing in here too. It sounds a little bit. It all sounds a little bit rough. So I'm gonna go look at the parts catalog, figure out what all I need, figure out what pieces are available on this older stuff. And stuff that, like, I don't think New Holland even makes hammer mills anymore, or mills at all. You gotta basically just hope that some other machine needs that bearing, and oftentimes that is the case. I mean, these bearings, they didn't make a bearing for this gearbox, right? They just used a standard bearing, so it would be the same one in a little trailer or whatever. I'm not actually sure what's under this. See, even this is just a hubcap, so like a hub cover. I mean, not a hubcap. So I'm not even sure what's under there. I'm gonna look on the parts book. But while it's out, I'm gonna do all the bearings because it does so much work and it's not handy when it breaks down. So as long as I got the parts, I'm going to put them in. But that is it for me tonight. I'm gonna go. I don't have any parts here for sure. So I'm gonna go in, get all the parts written down, have supper. Hopefully one of the dealers around does have the parts and I can zip in and get them. And if not, I guess one guy did order just some rolled grain. See, I can still roll the grain for them if they don't want it mixed. So I might, if I can't get this, if I got to wait on parts, then I'll just do those bags and get ahead of the game that way.